Okay, this will be the 16th chapter in the Game of Thrones saga. It will be a boring one because it will mostly be a dramatic persona, you know, the list of characters of a later episode, hopefully even this night, if I'm not going to be too tired. And we will present a list of names from the military days. The military days is actually full of like more interesting characters, I would say. Unlike the primary school, like I mean, certainly, cycling, cycling school. I should just say to regarding cycling, the junior high and the high school, that I mean, mostly I should concern myself with just two characters, the black and white knights, Lior Badichi and Yuval Spiegler. Yuval Spiegler, actually haven't spoken with them in the last 20 years, I think. But I still have a little bit of good memories, and I think that, I mean, I suspect he's a good person. I mean, really. And I was a much better friend, I mean, throughout a much longer period with Lior Badichi. But I mean, still I remember Spiegel fondly, and I think not just because of like random incidents, but I think that, I mean, there is like there is something here to be said, something, I mean, something that is not poetic, but I mean substantial. I should just say that, I mean, as I said many times, and as I've said in one of the previous characters, I understand that, I mean, while this is, I mean, explicitly a political series in which I discuss the political phenomenon of the Game of Thrones situation, using, I mean, my life as, I mean, using examples from my life, and I use real example because otherwise it will be kind of like neutral, like a, castrated season, season of like, the documentaries. I wanted to be substantial, so I must use actual people and actual events. Again, as I've always said in the past, the purpose of this talk, these episodes, is to demonstrate a political phenomenon that was very destructive in the history of Israel and also the world. The phenomenon of transferring young adults from one country to another after they exhibited all sort of like sexual deviant way, tendencies, mostly pedophilia. And Israel was always in the receiving side, mostly of this institution, which means they mostly received the junk. Not that there is no local, growth of the phenomenon, but it's a small country, and it always have been. I mean, and the world is huge, and for some reason I don't know why it's not really important. But I mean, the phenomenon is not, to my estimation, is not getting less common, and specifically in the United States. I have no reason, I don't know why. I have not even like, זה לא שראשית, אין לי אפילו ראשית הסבר לנושא הזה, כלומר, ראשית איזושהי ארטיקולציה של משהו שקרוב להיות מדעי באיזושהי צורה, לא יודע, אבל זאת עובדה, שבארצות הברית יש יותר ויותר, גם כמובן כי הם גדלים, הם יותר מ-300 מיליון, אז יש יותר ויותר, אבל באופן גם באופן יחסי, התופעה משום מה לא נפסקת שם. והם שולחים אותם לישראל, אבל בעבר גם אחרים שלחו, זה לא שרק האמריקאים שלחו, תמיד שלחו לפה את החרא, זה לא חדש בכלל, זה כבר 100 שנה זה שולחים לפה את הזבל הזה, מכל מיני מקומות, אבל רק להגיד שארצות הברית שהתופעה מתגברת שם, והפתרון לתופעה נשאר אותו פתרון, שזה לשלוח את זה לישראל את החרא. So Israel was mostly in the receiving side of this transfers throughout the 100 years. And it's still true. I mean, this is still part of Israel, and so I mean, but I do discuss actual people. But from my perspective, I mean, I do not ask you to do anything at all. Like, I mean, with regards to these people, just don't be confused. My demand is, as I've said again and again, our demand is simple, and it was, I mean, demonstrated before you in the last 2 years. In so many videos, like hundreds of times, I said almost every day, get me and my daughters and also their mother, I mean, the only kind of, out of Israel, without any communication, no speech and no kind of communication at all. Only using force alone, physical force. Get us out of here. And I said again, the only kind of words that you can utter from your mouth is when you go to 13 Acela Street. I live 10 Israel Guru Street, Tel Aviv. When you go to 13 Acela Street, Shoam, where in Bal Ben Moshe lives with the daughters, you can ask her if she wants to come with you, because presumably she's a free person, presumably, very strongly presumably. But this is it. No more communication other than that. No additional communication. No argument with anybody. Nothing. Get us out of the territory of Israel as fast as you can. It's the only thing that we ask you for more than 2 years now, every day. And everything else that you do it's your own business. It's just your own business. It's either irrelevant from the Cherubs, my own species, perspective, or it's only going to be detrimental. And everything that relates to speech is absolutely going to be extremely detrimental to this kind of rescue mission. You don't need any information. No knowledge is needed. No information is needed at all. If you seek information that I did not supply you in order to have success in this mission, then you didn't understand anything at all. And it's a shame, because you understanding the nature of the mission and how it should be carried away, that are not difficult, but maybe you have problems with that. This kind of understanding is critical for the surviving of the human race, which is probably not going to happen at all. Having said that, I understand that since we deal with actual people that are related to intelligence in the intelligence communities all over the world, and this is true by definition because of the nature of the Game of Thrones situation. It was clear to me since the first days of this journey that that these people are by definition related to other intelligence services because of the transfer. This transfer could not, could not facilitate without other intelligence services that are part of this issue, part of the mechanism, mechanism. So it might be, as a consequence of these videos, hopefully somebody listen to it. You might want to question these guys, like these one or two of the people that I mentioned by name. Either like the good guys that are, and they're almost none, or the bad guys, and this is almost everybody. So you might do it, but again, don't be mistaken. I do not ask you to question nobody, and certainly this is in no way related to the only thing that we actually ask you, and that the only thing that you can do that will actually might make the situation of the human race a little better, if at all, if it's even possible. Again, get me and my daughters out of the territory of Israel without communication at all. So any kind of other thing that you do, including any kind of interaction or interlocution or interaction with any of the people that I mentioned by name, it's your business. It's not related to me or to the cherubs that sent me. But I understand that you might want to do it, maybe in the future, if you have a future, probably not, but maybe someone will want to do it today, tomorrow, yesterday, I don't know. So, that's your problem, that's your business, do whatever you think. It does not concern me. I should just say one thing, that should have been obvious by now, and that the Titan situation, is known since long ago to include the possibility of clones. Now, humans can be clones of humans as well, but Titans can be very, very good clones. And moreover, the T can be used to create clones in humans. Humans can be clones of humans as well. But Titans can be clones of humans very, very, very well. Very, very well. And Titans can change to my, this is a philosophical question. From my kind of point of view, it's not a sex change, but I would say from the secondary, I would say, סימני מין משניים, איך שאומרים בעברית, הם יכולים להיראות כמו גברים, למרות שכמעט כולם נשים. לפחות בכדור הארץ כרגע, זה לא תמיד היה המצב, כי פשוט את הגברים אוכלים והורגים. אין כמעט גברים. אני אגב לא גבר, טיטן, אני כרוב, זה לא אותו דבר, אבל אני גבר, כרוב. גם לנו יש גברים ונשים. ואין כמעט גברים, והסיפור הזה דיברתי עליו רבות. כי אוכלים אותם, הורגים אותם, רוצחים אותם, זורקים אותם ליאור. אבל יש לא מעט, והיו נשים שנראות כמו גברים. אתם יכולים לטעון שלפי LGBTQ++, זה גברים. אבל הם לא יכולים לעשות ילדים, זה בטוח. וגם הם לא יכולים לייצר את ה-T, שזה לא את ה-T של הגברים, יש T גם לגברים וגם לנשים, זה לא אותו T. יש את ה-Yellow T, שזה ה-T שלי, של הקרובים, יש את ה-Red T, שזה הנשים, שזה כמעט כל מה שאתם יודעים עליו כ-T זה ה-Red T, ויש את ה-Brown T, שזה ה-T של הגברים. כמעט כל מה שראיתם, טעמתם במי חייכם, לא משנה מי אתם, זה ה-Red T. כמעט קרוב ל-100%. אבל אנשים צריכות את ה-T החום או הצהוב כדי לייצר את ה-Red T בטווח רחוק, זאת אומרת, זה אורך זמן, זה לא שצריך כל יום צריכות לאכול את זה. Now it should be said, I've said it so many times in the last couple of years, and this is demonstrated in many of my artworks and so many videos, and I've spoken about it at length for so long, but if somebody didn't listen, I'll just repeat it very, very quickly. The best way to distinguish between an Homo sapiens and a Titan is using cornea and iris scan. It works best if you actually have the cornea of the iris of the original. Then I mean, you know, this is like authentication method to see that what in front of you is actually what you think it is. And this is the best way, you know, to verify that, you know, your world leaders and, you know, important people are actually what you think they are. This is true even without the existence of Titans, because they can be human clones as well. So this is the best way to have in your database, like a secure database, to have, like, you know, cornea iris test of it can actually work with either of them, but it's best combined. So to just store in your database, you know, cornea and iris, the test of these highly ranked people, when you know that they are what you think they are, and to test it, I mean, and to compare it to, you know, to current test of iris and cornea and of these people, presumably these are really these people. This is fingerprints are used in the same way, but it's not the same. But fingerprints can be relatively easily altered. It's not a good. It's not actually a very good way for this purpose. Fingerprints. Now, let's say you have in front of you a person that you don't know if it's like Titan or Homo sapiens, and you don't have an original. I mean, you don't even know, like, I mean, maybe you don't, like, you never knew this person before, or maybe, I mean, you never bothered to take, like, you know, iris and cornea test of the original, or you couldn't have done that. There is still a very good way to actually differentiate between the two. And this is also by cornea and iris test. Just take test of the cornea and the iris, and then go to you know, trustable Irish doctor or eye doctor, and ask him or her to do an age evaluation of the person according to these tests. They know how to do it. This is not a new procedure. Now, if the person is a Titan, almost certainly you will. The answer, I mean, you will get from this kind of, either, like, you know, maybe there is an algorithm for it, I don't know, like, I mean, but from the process, whether it's like a human process or like algorithm, you will get the results of around 20 years old. Now, if the actual subject in front of you is indeed between 15 and 25, and, I mean, he or she looks like that, and that's what, I mean, you can see from their, whatever, you know, IDs or a formal document that they show you, then, I mean, you it's a problem. It's not easy to know, like, like, I mean, then, I mean, maybe you can use it's much more difficult than that. If there is a demand for that, I will again replay, or just, I mean, again speak about, you know, I mean, what can be done in this under these circumstances. But mostly it's not what's happening, because, I mean, for important people, I mean, they are not between 15 and 25, even though many times they have this kind of mental age, but not actual age. So mostly this is not a huge problem as far as, you know, national security or homeland security goes. Okay? So if this person receives, like, you know, the 20 or 22 or 18 result, but is demonstrably not 18, 20 or 25, but much older, and this is the actual, and this is the normal case, I mean, for important people, then you know this is a Titan. And it should be said again that they can be clones of children as well. Children can be clones as well. So if you do it to, I mean, if you take the test to a child, and it's not like invasive or something, it's no problem to run the test on a child. And you get the result of between 15 and 25, but he's like 10 years old or 6 years old, then this is a Titan clone. And this can be done as well. And has been done, had been done. Now, the fact that what you see in front of you is a male or looks like male does not mean that it's not a Titan, because again, they can change the secondary, סימנים שניים. I call this phenomenon wizards. This is my kind of, terminology, wizard. I call it, never mind why, it's my own terminology. You can call it transgender if you wish, okay? I call it wizard, female to male transgender. So, males could also be Titans. Creatures that look like males can actually be Titan females. They change their sex. Just so you know. And you might keep that in mind if, do whatever you want with this information, but you might keep it in mind. I highly recommend to keep this in mind if in any future event you choose to investigate any person that, his name is listed in any of these videos that, with regard to the Game of Thrones situation or any other video at all. Just keep that in mind that, you might not investigate who you think that you investigate. Keep that in mind, okay? So that was like a short scientific intermission. So very quickly, I'll start another video with the naming list, and then we'll continue with Spiegler, like a little bit of, we'll do some Blizzard, start some Blizzard discussion here.